Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank our witnesses for joining us. Thanks again for the incredible job that you all are doing. Admiral Parr, I want to begin with you. You talked about the importance of shipbuilding, but very specifically shipbuilding in certain areas. We have a distinct asymmetric advantage under the sea. Can you give us a perspective about what that looks like in relation to what we have as that advantage versus what the Chinese have, what they're building in relation to what we have? Secondly, too, is that we know that the Marine Corps is going to be the stand-in force there in the Indo-Pacific. They're going to be the tip of the spear, have that ability to make sure that they're the crisis response team. The challenge for us today is we don't have enough amphibious ships, and the ones that we do have an operational availability of 41%. So when your call goes out, the challenge is can it be met? Because today we cannot put together an amphibious ready group Marine Corps Expeditionary Unit, better known as an ARGMU. Can't do it. We can put a single ship out there, but we can't put the complement of ships that we need for an ARGMU. Can you tell me where are we in relation to the need for getting to that 2.33 submarines a year for AUKUS and ourselves, why that's important, and then what do you see as your alternative in a crisis response if when you call for an ARGMU, there's not one to be had?
Thank you, sir. Great to see you again. Presently, we have a generational advantage from a submarine standpoint against our adversaries. And this is key, critical, and indispensable to the ability to prevail. The PRC, though not perfectly linear, but the PRC is outproducing the United States by a rate of 2.0 per year to 1.28 presently attack submarines per year. Required to get there are continued investments in defense industrial base, liberalizing the long lead time supply chains, and giving a steady flow of funding. On the Marine stand-in forces and on amphibious ships are absolutely critical to this effort. And we are not meeting mission globally on doing so. It's a matter of the maintenance of the current capability that we have, and frankly, it's also a matter of the number of amphibious ships that we have. So the ops analysis does not lie on that matter.
Very good. Thank you. Let me then move from that. You talk about the need for us to get above the 1.28 production. That's not only to meet our requirements, but also to fulfill the obligations we made under AUKUS to make sure we have that partnership. Partnerships are incredibly important in that region. We talk about AUKUS, but we also talk about the Quad agreement. Can you give us your sense about, are there any barriers that are standing in the way for us to fully operationalize AUKUS, whether it's Pillar 1 or Pillar 2, and all the opportunities that are there for us with the Quad? We see what our adversaries are doing and trying to create more relationships there. We have to do more at the pace of relevance to make sure we have substantive outcomes of these agreements. Can you give us a perspective about where you see things and what we need to do to accelerate that?
AUKUS Pillar 1, operationally, we are meeting every milestone. The biggest risk driver to AUKUS Pillar 1 is getting to that production rate by the time that Australia purchases its own Virginia-class submarine. That is the greatest barrier that I see right now presently. On Pillar 2, the other capabilities, missiles and unmanned and cyber. On this case, the biggest barrier are barriers to our administrative and bureaucratic barriers to co-production. Co-production among our partners, not just our AUKUS partners, but all of our partners, would greatly enhance our missile magazines for all of us.
Would you say that ITAR currently has been modified enough to open the door for Pillar 2? Because I know as we talk to the Australians, they are not very happy with still the impediments with ITAR.
I would agree with them.
Okay, very good. Let me ask, are there other ways that we can get the most out of technological cooperation with our friends, not just there with AUKUS, but also with the Quad, where there's great opportunities with India and more opportunities with Japan? Give us your perspective on that.
Yes, that multilateral, India, Japan, the United States, and Australia, that is critical and it's growing. And we've seen some progress also with co-production among us, and we see some progress on exercises. But again, our limits to co-production and speeding up our ability to release key technologies to our partners under conditions of trust and under the scrutiny of trust that leads us to do so with confidence will enhance that effort.